Hi, everybody. Welcome to another week of Pensado's Place. He's Dave Pensado. I'm Herb Charlick, and in a minute, you're going to meet our guest who does front of house for Pitbull and a whole bunch of other things. But first, as always, we want to thank our partners. They are the Blackbird Academy, Westlake Pro, Avid, Warm Audio, Sonarworks, Groove 3, and Fab Factory. They make all this possible, and our recent trips have been responsible for them. So we had a good time at NAMM, Summer NAMM. We had a great time at IMSTAFest. It was great to see all you guys, and we got a lot of good things coming to you, including this week's guest. So DP, what's this week's ITL?
Man, I love it. You got to check it out. A lot of times when you've got a sound in a mix that goes a significant amount of the length of the mix, I like to hear a little movement in that part so it doesn't get monotonous. And so it's not unlike a dubstep thing where you hear wah, 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 wah. That kind of catches your ear. And I like to do something similar to that when I have pads and guitar parts and things like that. Now, this is a song by David Platellero. It's called Lionheart. Love these guitar parts. I'm gonna play them for you the way I got them. Now I wanted some movement on them, and what I decided to do was, check this out. Oh, Dave, what's all that black stuff? Watch this. Okay, I made, I guess these are quarter notes. They're just random pieces of audio. Now I've got the output of this running into the side chain of my gate. By the way, this is a really good gate. Now check this out. And so you can see it, you imagine in the track, I'm not playing the track because I'm not finished with it yet, but in the track that just gives you, your ear just gravitates towards it instead of this guy. But anyway, I'm sure you'll find a lot of uses for this technique. You can do it on synths, you can do it on synth pads. I love it on synth pads because, particularly ones that go start to finish in a song, after a while, your ear just doesn't hear it anymore. A lot of uses for this. You can use it on a lot of different things. I keep this track stored as a track preset because I use this stuff a lot. So check it out, let me know.
Our guest may be the most modest man in audio. He does front of house for Pitbull. He's a producer, an engineer, a composer. He's a Pensado Award winner, and he doesn't like to say this, but he's also a multiple Latin Grammy Award winner. We are pleased to welcome to the show Wilberto Madera. Hey, man. How are you?
Good, and you?
Wilberto.
Thank you for having me, guys.
We've got a number of nicknames to work with. There's Will. There's what, Chili Willy?
Chili Willy, yes.
Is there any others?
No, that's it.
What does your wife call you?
She calls me Wilberto.
Okay, let's see, there's another one. A new baby?
Yes.
Congratulations. How old?
10 months now.
Who is that?
Yeah, that's Zoe.
Already in it, huh?
Yeah.
That's fantastic,
yes.
man.
It's a blessing, man.
Well, that's an interesting thing because what people primarily know you as, what you won on our show for, was your front of house work with Pitbull.
Correct.
And you've been doing that since like 2006 or something.
Correct.
And people don't understand the intensity of being on the road with somebody that big, doing shows that level. It's all over the world. Correct. And pretty much nonstop, correct?
Yes.
So how do you factor in this kind of life change into this?
I'll be honest, it's really hard right now, like with the baby. But we gotta go and work.
Yeah, you gotta pay for the baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yes.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is just maybe balance it out a little bit more now, and maybe start producing more music or stay, so I can be more home. But it's hard. Let's see what happens.
While you're on the road, describe the rig that you use to write new songs and to do your productions with.
Okay, yeah, when we on tour, we have a rack where we have It's the screen. We have Pro Tools 12. We have FL Studio, a machine, and we use a DG Grid IOX to record. And sometimes we change the preamps. Sometimes we have a 737 Avalon.
So you're recording vocals and stuff on the road? I guess that's just ideas, right? Are you recording for yourself or for yourself and
for
Pit?
the whole band, and sometimes for Pit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And are you able to do that only when you're set up for the gig, or can you do stuff on the bus? Can you just go on the plane when you're traveling?
When we're not on tour, I travel with my own Pelican, and we have a little setup with the laptop and a little interface, and we use a USB mic sometimes.
Yeah. Sure.
Which one?
The Audio Technica.
Oh, that's a good mic.
40. I forgot the name.
We believe you.
It's hard to remember all the models.
And that's the reality of technology now. You don't have limitations on where you can record.
Correct.
It's just if you have time and a little bit of space and some headphones and stuff, you can.
Well, actually, this is a true story. Our percussionist is recording with his iPhone.
We've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're coming. I mean, not like highly quality, but they sound pretty good for to record ideas.
Yeah, just to capture ideas and do stuff, and then convert it later. How does the technology help you in terms of like virtual sound checks? Explain what that is.
Well, virtual sound check is it helps us. So we record the show, right? And then I have the opportunity to come back and just spend time on mixing the whole show, create snapshots, play with the plugins, change it on the chain, you know, so it gives you way more possibilities to get a better mix.
So to get a better mix of that actual show, when you get that better mix, does that help inform the next time you go to a show and to a sound check or whatever, that you know there's settings that you want to do because you're going to get that effect now that you've had a chance to mix it and you can get it in the past, or is it just to mix to put out later as product? In other words, does it affect the actual live show, or is it just about capturing the live show and then doing something with that?
No, it's capturing the live show, and I actually play it through the PA to hear how to tune the room if the mix is good still. So,
Gotcha.
So that's how I use it. And I do it every day almost, and it's fun too because you're listening to the show. Before we didn't have that opportunity. Right?
Is there a place now where you can, like, say you're playing Madison Square Garden, you go and you look up the EQ setting for Madison Square Garden, and then you put that into your RTA in your real-time analyzer, and you don't have to shoot the room every time you go. You get statistics for empty, half full. Is there such a place exist?
Well, they have measurements for every venue, but anyways, it depends on the PA too, which PA you have. Also, we do run measurements every day, no matter what.
Oh, okay.
You know, but sometimes they have all the measurement for the speakers for the line arrays.
Okay.
So if it's halfway, they'll put less boxes or more boxes.
Explain to people what a line array is.
Well,
and why it works better than the old way.
I'll be honest, I'm not too technological with the line array system, how it works, but it has helped a lot because the system to put it up, take it out, you know, like load in, load out, I'm sorry. And it's more clarity and it shoots different angles. So now it's better to get, how do you say that? Coverage. Yes.
Because not every arena is made in a perfectly square. Things, you know, there are ovals, there's different shapes, so you have to attack it differently. So
you want everybody to get the same energy and the same
as close to the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a big thing, right? What Herb said about time. The line arrays allow you to control what the guys at the front row here and what the guys at the very back, like the guys in the back over here, they're in a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yes, well, sometimes on this we have delay towers. So just to cover it over there, 'cause sometimes it won't reach all the way with the same energy. You know?
Right.
So delay towers will amplify that, either catch it up or
exactly.
Get it.
We just delay them back so they hit at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, no, your job is important.
Yeah,
extremely.
I think so.
Yeah, no, clearly. If you had a signature as can a front of house person have a signature style? Is there, you know, or are you just being as honest to what the artist wants to have, or do you put your thing on it?
I do add a little bit of my little sauce there, like
sauce. That's a good word.
like to the drums. I really like drums a lot, so I kind of EQ it. It's a little mix of I would say a little bit of rock with the reggaeton happening now, you know, the Latin music. So they're cool. And everybody says they like it.
Well, yeah, and you get to put your culture in it,
Exactly.
too, correct?
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
But he does something that's pretty unique. I can't say I know this from experience, but I've read several people comment about your mixes, and they always state that no matter how big the venue, you still give it a club, small, intimate vibe, like Pitbull is singing to you and you and you. How do you do that? That's a lot of buttons and knobs over there.
Yeah. Actually, it's all touchscreen. Yeah. Well, how do I explain it to be translated correct?
Well, let's start here. Most people don't realize that Pitbull carries a live band with him. They think they're going to see a DJ and a couple of dancers. So it's even more complex to try and create it. So are you using?
Well, that helps a lot, the live band. So what I do, let's say we have stems on the 2-track.
Okay.
And it's known for being heavy. People think it's going to be like a low-end heavy show, you know? And if you think about it, every record's going to have a different type of low end, depending on the producer, right?
Yeah.
So what I try to do to keep the same energy is I kind of high pass my drums to 80. It depends on the venue. Sometimes 80, 60, or 100.
Okay.
And what keeps my energy is the kick from the drummer and the 808s from the pad. And that's how I keep that energy going on the low end.
How are you miking the drummer? Inside and outside?
Correct. Yeah.
And how are you baffling all that drum from bleeding into the other mics?
Well, we have something very cool, Shelly Shock, I think it's called, something like that. And the outside mic is in a shock mount inside the kick.
Oh, okay.
And then the floor one, it's in a little pad. And it's all shock mounted inside. So we really don't get that much bleeding from outside and not from the other stuff. From the snare and
So
the
you're
drums.
still baffling the drums?
What is baffling?
The
Clear plexiglass.
clear plexiglass.
Oh, I don't use no. He doesn't like it.
Oh, okay.
It looks a little...
I agree with him, actually.
He being the drummer or he being Pitbull?
The thing is that he interacts with the drummer a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of, because he goes to the rise and like, Pokey, give me drums.
How long have you been with Pitbull? I forgot.
2006.
12 years now? 11, 12?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know it inside and out.
Yeah, I think I know everything on just with my...
Well, speaking of that, I remember when we were doing, it must have been Pensado Awards 3, I think,
Correct.
at the Sony lot. We had gone through our research and so on and so forth and came upon you and decided that you were going to be the winner. And I remember the reason when I introduced you, I said you were so modest, is you and I were talking by text and by phone. I was saying, well, maybe find something, you know, where that's, you know, would Pitbull ever say anything or give us anything? And he got Pitbull to do something, and then hit me and said, "Herb, it's just too long. I'm just embarrassed. I just don't want to run." I was like, "Well, just." I was like, "Oh, you know, show it to me at least." And he was like, "I just, oh man, it's too much about me." And I was like, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh no!" So we're gonna embarrass you further.
Yeah, I can't.
And let's show what Pitbull did on Pensado Awards 3.
So this is Chili Willy.
So there's been somebody that's been working with us for about, I would say, 10 years now. He believed in everything that we've done from the beginning. He understood the vision. And when everybody told us that we couldn't do it, wouldn't happen, can't happen, he stuck right there with us. He thugged it out. He grinded out with us. And he won a very special award for being so good at what he is. And he's the house man. He's the one that makes sure that all the music out there sounds right. So I want to give a big thank you to Wilberto Madera. And I also want to tell him congratulations on the Pensado Award. And San Antonio, please make some noise for him tonight.
So it wasn't so bad, was it? I mean, what he said was true.
Yes.
I mean, he's obviously a consummate performer, but I could tell in that exchange that you were important to his show. He was proud. You know, he's obviously you guys are close, but he was also proud that you were being recognized.
Yes.
Did that feel good?
Really good. That moment was, like, how do you say, overwhelming maybe? Yeah. It was, I wanted to hide under the board though, but
I bet.
because everybody like turned, and I'm like, we're not used to it though. So,
Yeah, right, right.
No, always behind.
When you sent it, we were like, oh my God. It was in San Antonio, and it was just a big moment.
Is that a boat or something?
Yeah, that's a cruise, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he does such small crowds, just nobody shows up, does he? So do you see a lot of technological advances in the live sound thing? Is there constant gear that either provide different kinds of tools, some good, some bad, or does it pretty much go the way it goes? Because every time we interview a front of house person, if there's 6 months to a year, there's something new that they're, like you work on all touch screens, for instance, right? And there's different ways you have real-time analyzers and things. What kind of technology things have you seen changing, and are there more on its way?
Well, there's a lot when it comes to tuning the rooms. There's a lot of technology now, plugins, boards, console. I always say to be in sound, it's like being a doctor. You got to keep on top of your medicine. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's they're getting better and better at plugins, man. And I'm a plugin lover. Yeah.
What do you use for your shows?
I use a lot of waves and UADs. One of my favorites is the SSL channel, the E. I use it like almost in every channel. And I like the Shadow Hills. But for my master
is latency a problem with those?
No, not at all. Right now they're so good at it, and especially with the waste board, it's just like you can really tell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you use the same thing in your production work? The same plugins?
Kind of, yes. Yes, because live, remember, we don't have all of them.
Right.
Some of them are, and some of them not. So.
Right. So when you're producing and composing, that's a base set, but use additional ones too, depending on what you're doing.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What one of the things that I know is consistent to what you do is, and I think possibly consistent to who you are as a person, is emotion is important to you, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
And is that an instinctive thing you find when you're making it? Like you just know when it's kind of the right
I feel
spot?
it, yeah. Sometimes I even cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not the first person who has said that, and the first person who said that at this desk was an Oscar winner. And he said part of when he knows he is at his most creative spot,
I remember that.
is when he cries. I forget his name, but I'll remember that. But it was very telling because because you're really an artist, and you have to open up if you're an emotional person to be able to read your emotions. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. Does being a father make that even more acute?
Oh, yes, a lot.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet. So we're expecting greatness. So like, this will maybe be the greatest interview you ever had because it's emotional. I gotta make you cry. I'm just teasing.
Who are some of your favorite old school Latin artists like Vicente Fernandez, that time period? Who are some of your favorite that you draw on today?
Well, that's a good question. I come from the Dominican Republic, so I was born listening to merengue.
Okay.
So one of my favorite artists is Juan Luis Guerras.
Okay. Explain to those people that don't know how cool merengue is. It's a whole different groove and beat that's pretty neat, really.
Yeah, it's
hard
very
to play.
danceable, man. It's fast too. It's like 130, sometimes 160.
Fast. Yeah, you're rolling.
Yeah, so it's like, hey.
Yeah, you got to be in shape. For sure.
And who are some of the newer artists that you like?
Latino. Oh, have J Balvin, Nicky Jam, Luis Fonsi. Pitbull, of course.
I was going to catch you on that. I couldn't catch you on that.
What's the community of Latin audio folks? What's it called?
Monosonico.
Tell us about that.
Well, Monosonico is a platform that we Eric and SP we came and decided like the Latin community needed more tips and like motivation to start, because sometimes like we don't believe that this is possible, you know. So it is like it says, Monosonic is a platform that empowers the music technology community to learn, connect, and grow. And we aim it to the Latin community, and but it's for everybody though. And what we have is Monday is shortcut from Pro Tools. Tuesday is a motivational quote.
Wow. Do you have subtitles?
Yes, we do actually. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And
I bet that was Eric Friedlander's doing, right?
Yeah,
Eric
yeah.
you just mentioned. Oh, there he is.
So yeah, and then Thursdays we have live front house engineer tip, and Fridays is studio engineer.
Oh,
which
I know a
it would
couple
be
of
an
those.
honor if you can give us a tip, you, Dave, and her.
Yeah,
for,
don't do it.
for the line community.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm there to help you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
And
What
Saturday,
day?
I'm sorry,
What day?
Fridays.
Okay.
And the purpose of the community is to what? Gather people, grow, give them opportunities, have them a place to get information.
Correct. To learn and like learn new tips, new tricks, how to mix, like for experiences. Like let's say when first time you go to a show and like we're talking about PAs and consoles. So they'll give you little tips. Okay, don't be afraid. Just go do this. Start this way.
Is education important to you?
Very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the purpose that it serves for people besides learning, we find that it's twofold. One is people can learn, but also people like yourself that are experienced can give back. Is that part of it?
Yes, it's a way of us giving back to the community too. Yes.
Be really interesting to have you on. You just never have any time. You are so busy. It took us like a year and a half.
Yes,
2 years.
my
to get you.
apologies
No,
to
no,
that.
no. It wasn't your fault at all. Listen, you're working. In a year, how much do you work? Is it 9 months, 10 months?
It's the 12 months.
Nonstop.
Non-stop.
How much is travel?
Most of it is travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly Pitbull or others?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's a hard worker, man. He likes to work.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say about you. Your work ethic is really incredible, and I know every time we reach out, you'll go, "I'm in this city for 11 minutes, and then I'm off to that city for." Kudos to you, but it takes hard work to do things. It's a blessing to be able to do hard work. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God every day.
So in Chili Willie's future, what do you hope to have happen? Are there places that you want to go? Is it more production? Is it what do you think?
I'm aiming more now to start working like more in production in the studio. That's like my vision now.
And you're working on a record with Pitbull now, correct?
Yes, we're working on a record. Very excited about it. Can't talk that much about it yet.
I got you. If you can talk about it, in the role that you play in that record, is it an engineering mixing role?
No, this is fully produced by me.
Oh, nice.
I'm not writing just the music.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, and that says a lot about the relationship between not only your skill set, but the relationship when an artist trusts you and when you've built all this time after 12 years, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
and
it's been a blessing working with Pit, man.
That's
with Chico. We call him Chico.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to call him Chico. Tell Chico we said hello.
What was your education background? I can't remember. Did you go to school for this?
Yes, I went to IAR, Institute of Audio and Research in New York.
How long after school did the path start? Not did you go right to Pitbull, but you started working and started making a living. Was there a long time before after school, or did it take a minute?
Actually, I was very lucky because they gave me an internship right away into a studio.
Oh, nice.
But you worked at some like Broadway stuff or something.
Yeah, off Broadway.
Okay.
I did a lot of theater like in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had a lot of lavaliers and floor mics.
Air mics. And there's
Herb did some of that.
I did
Yeah.
that one time.
Very
I went
cool,
around.
very cool.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was one of the most
You have
instructive.
the cues and all that. You got to be paying attention.
Yeah. People calling the show behind the scenes. Yeah.
Stand by, go now.
Oh yeah, the choreography is really critical between all the
It
technical
doesn't sound
teams.
fun to me.
It is fun.
It's a
though.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's stressful.
At the beginning it might be, but then when you learn the show, it's like pretty cool because
you
you do
get
the
the groove.
effects and you do this. Super cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And different audio challenges.
Yes, totally.
Because you can go from a live band in the pit to somebody who has a hair mic to effects.
A hair mic?
Yeah, a lot of
What's
actors.
that?
A lot of actors wear their mics in their hair, and
No
they disguise
shit.
them in their hairline because they're wearing wigs and other kinds of things. So,
Correct.
Wow, that's a whole different world.
Yeah, it's totally different actually when it comes to the PA because in the theater you have small speakers all over the theater,
Right.
to create the effects. in a show is like a huge linery.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And the different theater sizes. There's
Correct.
all kinds of, yeah, absolutely. All right, so now we come to that point in the show where we got to play a little batter's box. Oh, you're going to be good, man. Listen, if you do a Pitbull show, you certainly can do batter's box. All right, David, tee up that arm. And
I have my pelota ready.
And you know, the baseball players from the DR are really good, so you gotta bring it.
Yes.
Okay, lighting.
Lighting. Grande me.
Omni mics. I'm gonna get this where I can feel it.
58.
Okay. Console.
LB1.
Feedback.
Feedback? Like, feedback?
Yeah.
1K?
Okay. Okay, 1K. Reverb.
H-Verb?
I saw that over there. Plugins in general. Plugins.
Mac DSP, ML4000, Shadow Hills from UAD, Waves, the G-Bus.
He didn't just name all the plugins he used, did he?
He came close.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, man, he's a pro. You can't touch this guy.
Hey, man, from the DR.
Fireball.
Party song.
Audience. This was Chongor's idea, so blame him.
Okay.
Just is an audience necessary for you to do your work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about this one? Okay, let me rephrase the
I'll
question.
come in and say
What do you
that in a
get
second.
from the audience in terms of what you give back to the audience?
What do I hear back? Oh, they always come on, it was a great show. It was good. I loved the energy.
Let me rephrase for you.
Okay.
When you're doing your job, does the audience reaction tell you things?
Oh,
Oh,
great.
yes,
That's the question I
100%.
wanted. That was it.
100%.
You have to
Yes.
learn Chongor speak. Like I deal with it every day, so I know how to. So,
I
anyways,
thought it was
Oh,
Question.
yes. And sometimes you just, when you feel that you want to push it a little bit more to give more energy. Yes.
so you literally the audience information will adjust what you're doing. Correct.
If the sound sucks, they'll tell you too. Boo.
Right. And then what Pitbull's getting is
Herb,
yeah.
As a referee, I'm feeling you're completely biased against me.
Well, because you guys dropped the ball so badly, I'm just trying to make sure it looks good. So, all right, so I'm going to give it back.
Okay.
I've interpreted the Chongor question.
we're done.
Are
We're
you
done,
really?
yeah.
So because your relationship with the audience is because Pitbull's relationship is with who's running his monitors and stuff, correct? Not that he's not seeing the audience. Can he hear the audience? Is he wearing inner ears?
Yes, he does hear the audience.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because
he has in ears. Yeah.
Everybody has to be informed a little bit, right?
Yeah. And they like because they feel the energy through that. Yeah. They want to hear it.
And now because you worked with him this long, you intuitively probably have a feel for where you should go that will also be where he wants to go, I'm guessing, right?
Well, for
does he
that
signal
part, that's
you,
the
or-
monitor engineer
Okay.
that controls that. I'm more like with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
Yeah.
the crowd guy, and he's got the,
yeah.
got it. It's fascinating. Do you ever get bored?
Actually, I don't.
Yeah.
Every day is a new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a new challenge.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's terrifying someday.
So, yeah, it is sometimes. Yeah, it
bet.
is.
What's the smallest venue that you would be in with a Pitbull? Is it like a cruise? Is it on a boat?
We've done small clubs.
Is that right?
Yes, very small. Sometimes we have to cut percussion halfway and drums maybe just a kick and a snare.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
We have.
And what's the largest?
Wembley Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people is that?
I think it was 80,000 or 100,000, something like that.
A lot of folks.
We did it twice. The first time it was too much. Yeah.
Well, you know, we are big fans.
Yeah.
Certainly the award that you got was well deserved. And
Thank you.
well, I think on a number of fronts. One, you're doing something that has such scale and such success. And then the other thing that I think is really cool that we at least try to do is to make sure that we recognize folks in different cultures who are doing things that are great. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And Pitbull as a businessman and as a brand and so on and so forth has been amazing and brought all that together. And you're making sure that stays consistent from a live standpoint, and it takes somebody who has the emotional comportment you have and who has the culture stuff. And you're just a friend of the show, so hopefully we're not bugging you.
No, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, it's
and sometimes I do get camera fear, you know.
You're not the only one. We do too each week. Yeah. We don't even know why people even watch us, but they do. So we're trust me.
I'm a big fan. I always watch it.
Oh, cool. Well, we're big fans too. Where is your Pensado Award sitting? Is it at home?
Yeah, it's in the studio. Yeah.
In the studio.
I even cover it with a little
nice.
glass thing. So.
Send us a picture of that.
Yes.
It's not touching any of those Grammys or anything, is it?
It's next to it.
Oh, good.
With
like
a little thing.
At least a foot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it's near the Grammy.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Just checking it out.
Man, thanks for being on the show. Dave, take us home.
One of the things that I love about Pensado's place that I didn't originally understand, Herb always had a concept that we would be about more than just mixing, more than just making records, that there was an audio world out there with so many opportunities. And today just reminded me how 100% correct Herb was now that I met Chili Willy. Yeah. And that's an alternative for you. You don't have to always be a mix engineer. You don't have to always work in post-production. There's so many opportunities around the world in audio, like Herb says. It's everywhere. And so give serious thought about broadening your career and broadening your career choices, and maybe find some other areas that you might like and enjoy. See you next week.
Peace.